And now, coming to you straight from the 505's most news-biting source of politic-comitainment, it's the New Mexico Inquisition with Danger Cavaros.
This is great. Thanks for coming. It's good to be back with New Mexico Inquisition Season 2, which is very cool. We got a lot of things going on. Snow came and went from the 505 recently. It lasted about as long as Mayor Barry's dream for a working electric bus system on Central. So. Yeah. Albuquerque Rapid Transit, ART, also known as another Republican train wreck, or awful raging tragedy. That's another good one. I don't know. It's actually taken its first human life. I don't know if you guys have heard this. The buses aren't even running yet, but somebody drove their car into a bus station, killing themselves. And it turns out that's why the buses aren't working yet. They demand more human sacrifice. Give me blood, Tim Keller. Did you guys see this this cartoon that was just printed in the Albuquerque Journal? Yeah. Speaking of bad blood, right? Oh my goodness. Yeah, the cartoon is very interesting. It makes a lot of interesting racial assertions. But the thing that I found interesting is being overlooked largely, and that's the fact that in the cartoon it's depicting a Republican man correcting his wife. He says, actually, dear, they're dreamers. What did she say before the cartoon started? Like, what was she in the middle of saying? That's what I'd like to know. Also, if you notice, his teeth are really far apart, and it's very strange looking. It's not very good. Yeah. An APD officer was recently invited to attend a State of the Union address by the Trump administration. This is after the officer and his wife, they adopted the infant child of a drug addict that the officer encountered in the line of duty. And I just have one question for this officer. Will you be my daddy too?
Yes, I'll be your daddy.
Yeah. Albuquerque, or New Mexico rather, is ranked 49th in what is it again?
Public education.
Public education. 49th in public education. Child poverty is through the roof, and it's been rated the worst place to raise a family. Very sad. You know, like I never thought as a father my daughter would be living that hustle and flow lifestyle. You know? Turns out New Mexico is the only place where the kids actually have it harder on the streets than a pimp. Yeah. I don't know if you missed this. The state secretary, the Secretary of State's office recently released a statement saying that while it is illegal to raise money or campaign during the legislative session, there's nothing wrong with having a donate button on your website. It could be a tiny little itty bitty donate button. It could be really, really small, as long as the bribes you put in them are big. Yeah. What else is going on? The Libertarian Party is having a big, its time in the limelight right now. It's become a legit political party in New Mexico right now. I think a lot of that has to do with Gary Johnson's run for president. I think a lot of his success came from that Rolling Stone article that came out about him during the primary. Do you guys remember the Rolling Stone article? It was called "Don't Vote for Gary Johnson." It's kind of sad in the news. There's actually been over 125 suicides in the last 2 decades on the Taos Gorge, or the Rio Grande Gorge Bridge up north near Taos. And authorities up there are trying to find a way to stop that from happening. And they're thinking about taking a cue from San Francisco, who posts police officers on the Golden Gate Bridge to try to prevent people from throwing themselves off. But this isn't California, this is New Mexico. I feel like if we put our cops on the Gorge Bridge, it'll go from a murder or suicide bridge to a murder-suicide bridge. We tried to getting shot in the back as they're jumping off the bridge. Hey! There's a green chili shortage going on right now in New Mexico. Oh. Yeah. Turns out as it's becoming more popular in other states, we're overtaxing our local producers to sell to other places, and now New Mexicans at home are going to either have a straight up shortage in green chili or face eating green chili grown in other places.
Get a rope.
Yeah, that's terrible news. That's a bigger punch in the gut than that time that Ron Bell was busted for drunk driving. You were supposed to be better, Ron. You were the best one of us. He still is, if you ask me. He's the best one of us.
It's a mustache.
What else is going on, man? Marble Brewery, they're celebrating their 10th anniversary. Everyone loves a good Marble beer. They're celebrating with the release of a new line of beer soaps. That's right, beer soap. Can you imagine getting pulled over? Like you be the cop.
Sir, do you know why I pulled you over? Have you been drinking tonight?
No, sir, just bathing.
Oh.
It's crazy. You like that little improv? Yeah, that's good. I mean, what's next? You know, like 99 Bananas shampoo, Steel Reserve deodorant, Four Loko dental floss. I'm just kidding. Nobody who drinks Four Loko flosses their teeth. More like cocaine dental floss. I can't even tell that my gums are bleeding. Anyway, we got a great show tonight. We got a lot of special guests today. Thanks for coming. We got Jeff Hertz from Two-Way Street, so stick around. And we'll be right back after these messages. You guys are great. You guys are awesome. Thanks. Welcome back to the New Mexico Inquisition. With me is our New Mexico political analyst, New Mexico Inquisition political analyst, Isiah Yazzie. Say hello to everybody. Awesome.
Mexico.
We also have special guest from Two-Way Street, Jeff Hertz, to my left here. Everyone, say hello to everybody.
Thanks very much for having me.
Awesome. And with us is Mary Byrd. She's a local comedian and behind Bluebird Comedy. Say hello, Mary. We'll fix that later. Don't worry about that. How was your day, Isiah? Anything new happen?
Went to Johnson and kicked around the soccer ball. That's about it, man.
You did.
Yeah, went outside for a first time in a few weeks, probably.
Really?
Yep.
That's incredible.
Now, how was your day?
I had an okay day. I mostly just wrote jokes for this show.
A lot of hard work.
Yeah, a lot of hard work. I read in the paper, and then I looked on Facebook on the news articles, and then I saw on the evening news, and then I also saw in the national news all about this political cartoon.
Oh.
Did we hear a hiss out of the audience? Is that a hiss? Yeah. So people aren't liking it very much. What did you think about the political cartoon, Jeff?
Well, you know, we're actually with Two-Way Street. We're hoping to do more political cartoons. So I say bring it.
Yeah. But different ones.
Sure, of course.
Oh my God.
Awesome.
We'll get into some political cartoons for sure.
Did you see the cartoon, Mary?
I did. Didn't like it. Didn't like it at all.
Yeah. Me neither. Here's an interesting news story recently. Turns out a Burqueño native, somebody named Quinn Llewellyn, has been on Jeopardy.
Wow.
Yeah. Do you watch Jeopardy much?
Not as much as I should, I guess.
Would you watch it more if you knew that there were Burqueños on?
Sure, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did you guys check out the Quinn Llewellyn on Jeopardy?
No.
No, I can't sit through Jeopardy.
Huh. That doesn't surprise me. But at the same time, you don't go outside for weeks on end, apparently.
Yeah.
So what are you doing if you're not watching Jeopardy?
Cut away from
Get that
the-
on camera, cut away from me.
All right, cool. Well, that story was a real dud. What about the laser pointer guy? Did you hear about the guy who got arrested for pointing a laser pointer at a helicopter? Can you believe this?
Where do you get that kind of laser? All the lasers I've had are like on the end of my pens.
I think it was one of those lasers. It wasn't like a death ray.
So just trying to get the helicopter to
It
follow?
wasn't like a Batman.
Yeah, it wasn't like a substantial
symbol?
laser.
Okay.
But it kind of reminded me of that, because everyone's been freaking out about this laser pointer guy. It kind of got me thinking about, remember a few years ago, there was the guy who was arrested in the Heights for shooting a rifle at a helicopter.
Maybe it was the same guy with the laser pointer on the gun, and he wasn't ready to fire a gun, but he was just pointing the laser pointer.
Could be.
You know what, dude? You should go on Jeopardy.
Oh yeah.
I think you'd win. I think you'd win.
What is? Shoot.
Tell us about Hoops for Hope, Isiah.
Oh, okay. So Hoop for Hopes is
Hoop
Senate.
for Hopes?
Hoops
So
for
it's
Hope.
one hoop, but multiple hopes? Or
Lot
is
of
it-
hopes.
Or is it a bunch of hoops?
A lot
but
of
one
hopes.
hope?
Listen, like
What's
a lot
the
of
hoop to
hopes,
hope ratio?
Probably
Say at least 1 to 1.
1 to 1. 1 to 1.
It should be hoop for hope.
Hoop for Hope.
I think we're in agreement here. Well,
Okay,
anyway,
well,
tell
let me
us about
finish.
it.
Let me finish. So, Hoops for Hope is a charity basketball game where New Mexico Senators play New Mexico House Representatives. What does that even look like, New Mexico? A bunch of old men. Who's ever been to an old men's basketball
I
league?
don't want to see it. I say fight to the death.
Yeah, fight to the death.
Now they can't touch each other though.
After Senator Michael Padilla, right?
Right.
Ooh, no more butt slaps.
Yeah.
Good job, Mary.
Yeah, after Senator Michael Padilla, there's no more reaching across the aisle anymore. Put an end to the bipartisan measures. See, this is not allowed on the roundhouse. Actually, it was reported that Joe Monahan, the political blogger, reported that after the new sexual harassment rules were passed in for the House floor, that his sources noticed that people are doing a lot more handshakes and a lot less hugs, because people used to hug each other at the start of the session, like, "Oh, hey, what's up, man?" Now they're just like, "Hey, stay away from me."
Yeah.
Anyway, that's better though. There should be more professionalism.
Who would you pick, Jeff, as your starting 5? If you can name 5 senators. Let's see it. 5 starting senators. Let's see it.
I don't know. I mean, we got a lot to choose from. A lot of talent. Which is the tallest? I'm a pretty tall
The
guy.
tallest. Let me look up their stats.
Yeah, look up their stature.
So we got Mary Kay Pappen. Her 3-point percentage is 64% this season.
Wow.
Huh.
Wow.
Those are some good stats.
Yeah. Listen to this one. Let's go to Senator John Pinto. He's the oldest senator right now with 56 blocks this season. The oldest senator serving has 56 blocks. Can you imagine that?
Stuff, man.
Because he has years of practice.
Years of practice.
Years of practice.
As many as John Arthur Smith.
Ooh, I was just looking at John Arthur Smith. What? That's my dude.
Well, this is news biting stuff, Isiah. I'd love to hear more about old people playing basketball, but we're going to have to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back after these messages, folks. All right, yeah. We're back with the New Mexico Inquisition. Of course, I have Mary Byrd, Isiah, Yazzie, and Jeff Hertz with us from Two-Way Street. We wanted to bring you on the show to talk about Two-Way Street a little bit. Why don't you tell us what is Two-Way Street?
So Two-Way Street is a micro-entrepreneurial street vending community-based publication. And so we provide micro-entrepreneurial opportunities for lower income and homeless folks. It's an alternative to panhandling. Each vendor buys each copy of the paper for 25 cents and they sell it back out for $1 plus any tips they get. So as they say, it's a hand up, it's not a handout.
So people are selling the magazine for you. What is in the magazine?
So a lot of the publication is, it has voices from the vendors themselves. So there's poetry, there's art, we're hoping to teach some of them some journalistic skills.
Cartoons.
Political cartoons of all sorts.
You have any funny
Any
content?
funnies?
I've
Not
met a lot
yet,
of funny
not
dudes
yet.
on the street.
Well, that's why that's why we're here. We're trying to tap into that. So I mean, I think
Yeah.
you guys, we need to feature you in the publication.
Yeah, I think Isiah would be down to write something
Oh.
for it.
You could street vend too, man.
Hey. I have a car. I'm living out of my car right now.
Does that? Yeah.
Give us your pitch, man. What's your pitch?
Okay. Can I get the magazine?
Sure, yeah, you gotta familiarize yourself with it first.
Let's get ready.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Hello.
I have a publication here. It's got a bunch of stuff. Let me sit down by you. It's got poetry. It's got a bunch of spoken word, probably the same thing. It's got some paintings and everything. If you want to look at it, it'll be $1.
$1?
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting a pretty bad hot flash.
is
so
hot. It
I
can
will
get-
give you.
Don't let her fan
give
herself
you-
with it until she pays you for it.
Yeah, I need it.
Yeah.
Need $1?
Plus any tips, right?
And
Any
tips.
tips? Well, this looks like a great publication.
Have you ever seen it before, Mary?
I have not seen this
Well,
before.
I'm glad you can learn about it now. Two-way street. There it is.
Wow. Well, there's like this
Look at how many
article.
pages there are. This is a
There's a
great
lot.
magazine. Look, there's content beyond
it apart.
content.
This article
What is it now?
about
There is cartoons.
Are there
Comic strip.
comic strip?
It's
Well,
not
I think
that
this
funny,
is a
though.
serious deal for $1.
It's not that funny though.
You can tell Isiah gets most of his news on his phone and laptop because he's pulling it apart like he's never
Doesn't
seen
know
print
how
ad
it
before.
Never seen this.
Whoa!
Look at all the
Tangible.
pages.
And it smells good.
Literature at your fingertips.
Can you eat it?
So tell us,
In emergency. In an emergency.
There's some scratch and sniff in there too.
Wow.
tell us about what got you to start Two-Way Street.
So Two-Way Street was my master's thesis project, but I think at the heart of it all was really seeing how we see so many folks in Albuquerque who are marginalized to the point where they're out on the street, and we want to find a way to help folks activate a space rather than be skirted along all the time. And street newspapers are not a new thing. We actually had one here in the 90s, and they're all over the country, they're all over the world. We recently became a member of the International Network of Street Papers, so we're one of 130 publications throughout the world that are doing this. So
And it's in Albuquerque.
it's in Albuquerque,
Woo!
and it's a two-way street.
Do you network with the other
We do.
publishers?
There's an article in this issue. Every issue we try to publish, we actually have access to a news service, so we publish content from different papers around the world with every issue.
That's interesting. I think you had some trivia.
Yeah,
you wanted
I
to
have
ask
some
the audience.
trivia for our audience members. Okay, I was researching your website, twowaystreetabq.com.
.org.
Okay, so I got a couple of true or false for the audience, and all you got to say is true or false, okay? Not too hard. So, vendors for Two-Way Street have to pay taxes. True or false? False. Jeff?
Well, the truth is, our vendors don't make enough money to pay taxes. So, our goal is that obviously they're selling enough papers to eventually pay taxes.
Okay.
They break that $400 mark, but yeah.
And that's when they hold a business permit?
So the beauty behind street vending, especially with First Amendment materials, is that they're leveraging their First Amendment right. And so, first of all, they don't have to obtain a solicitation permit with the city. That's one of the biggest things. That's one of the biggest expenses that we kind of forego. And the other is that we hold a business license. They don't. They're independent contractors. Yep.
Okay.
Slick.
Loopholes. Man, the
Loopholes.
First Amendment, I'll tell you, the First Amendment, it's hard to beat the First Amendment. I'll
Can't
tell you
get
that.
past it.
yeah.
You really can't. You really can't.
Love
My
it.
favorite is when Trump's like, loopholes. I didn't pay any taxes. That makes me smart.
Well, maybe we have a little bit of Trump in us, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, don't say that,
I'm just joking. All I'm saying is that the beauty behind street vending with street newspapers is the fact that we believe in that entrepreneurial spirit. If we feel that there's a discrepancy in what our local government or what our service providers are being able to provide, we can empower folks to have a sense of self-determination themselves.
Exactly.
So that's kind of really at the heart of it.
Did you have any other?
I have a lot of true or false, but this last one, the second one, audience, vendors, true or false, vendors go through a low barrier application, an interview process, and a background check. Or
True.
that's a quick trick question, right?
You kind of threw it all together, right?
Together.
Well, first of all, there is no background check. One of the beauties behind street papers is the fact that it is that immediate income earning opportunity, right? Is that this, as independent contractors and as folks that are leveraging their First Amendment right, we're not required to do a background check. Now, in terms of the training, we provide a certain amount of training. They can't just go, we don't just give them papers and tell them to go out there. They have to develop those kind of skills, and they also have to develop a relationship with the business, the brick and mortar businesses that they're standing right outside of. So it's really about trying to help them activate the public right away in a more responsible way.
Do you ever go sell any papers yourself?
I have tried. It's tough. It's very tough work.
Do you get dressed up like a homeless man to do
I
it?
have a vest. I have a badge. I don't dress up like a homeless person, no, but
Right, that's offensive. Let's see.
Danger, you're wearing a suit.
This
Come
is
on, you should have known that.
this is my only suit, and a friend gave it to me as a joke. True story. We should mention a quick retraction. It was not Senator Michael Padilla that caused the rule change on the floor of the House. It was Sanchez.
No, Garcia.
Garcia. It was a man named Garcia who was accused, and so we don't want to be
Fake news.
you don't want to be fake news over here. You start reading the Monahan blog so fast, all the names start blurring together.
that's why you need a publication
yeah.
like Two-Way Street. It slows you down.
That's exactly right.
Slows you down.
That's exactly right. And with that, I want to thank our guests, Mary Byrd, Isiah, Yazzie, coming on the show, and of course, Jeff Hertz with Two-Way Street. Thanks a lot for coming on the show.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Make sure to join us next week because the New Mexico Inquisition is now a weekly show. So check us out YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. Stick around. I'm going to do a brief Q&A. Good night, folks.
Dance time.
You've seen this.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man.
Once again.
I did not know it was this one. New Mexico English Podcast. I did not know that.